Hey guys, today I want to look at something Faker has been spamming in solo queue recently, as well as a lot of high-elo players on the Korean servers, Kled MID. We actually saw this come out at Rift Rivals before that in the match between Rogue Warriors and Kingzone Dragon X. Doinb used it mid lane, and honestly, he hard carried the last fight of the game and won it for them. Faker has been smashing with it though in solo queue. So today we're going to be taking a quick look at how he does it and some of his games as well. I actually think Kled is already good as a champion, to be honest. Like top lane, at least he's been hovering around the top of the role for the last few patches, and whenever he's in my games, he seems to do really well. I know you really want to know how Faker does it, so these are the runes that he runs, and nothing too insane. Press attack is kind of normal for Kled anyway, apart from Conqueror, and going into Resolve afterwards for a little bit more defense and protection against some poke from mid lane. Items though can be a bit different, so it's Tiamat Rush into Titanic Hydra first item, and then a Black Cleaver after that, and then Storm Razor if he's ahead. Like pure damage, Guardian Angel and Asterix if not. Doinb went for the same first two items, then Frozen Mallet and Last Whisper in his game to get through the two tanks. So it's a little bit different, and he was against a Mundo and a Skarner building armor. A lot of people think that Kled has like a lot of cheese potential in the lane phase mid lane. You get level 3, you charge in, you rope, and remember the champions that you're going to be facing will be much squishier and easier to kill from just one combo. So you should be able to bully a bit more. You should have some more control in the lane phase, but you're going to be amazing 2v2 if you go with your jungler to fight for crabs or in ganks. Your wave clear does actually suck to start the game with, like it's really not that good, but once you get Tiamat, it is insane. You push really fast and then you can look to roam afterwards. You can duck out vision and be a constant threat. Remember as well, most mages had their wave clear nerfed recently. It was a really big issue, it's a big problem. You can't push as hard anymore, so you have a champion like Kled who can push you in and contain you under your tower, and there's nothing really you can do against it. You'll then have your ultimate to roam either top lane or bot lane so easily, and let's not beat around the bush, Kled has one of the best roaming ultimates in the game. So your damage is insane, very slippery with mobility and the extra health from Skull, so you shouldn't be dying very often. Even if you go aggressive, you're able to get work done straight away in the game. You can roam well, you can help your jungler, you can fight for crap, and most mid laners do not have a way to escape you when you dive in. It is the same rinse and repeat combo every single time. You tumble in, you rope them, and then you chomp them down. Then in team fights after that, you're just a massive threat like normal. You charge in, you nuke an AD carry down, or whoever you can get to. Kled is massively underrated, and sticking in mid lane seems to make the whole thing worse. Fun fact as well, in the tournament, he was also banned in all of Rogue Warriors games at the tournament, so obviously they were playing in scrims, and if pros don't want to play against it, you can bet the solo queue players won't want to either. That is a short version of why it can work. If you just wanted the bare bones thing and like go into a game now, I guess, and try it out, then there you go, that is there. But we're going to hop into one of Faker's games now and see how he plays it. So, as I said, we're going to jump into one of Faker's games. He's playing the Kled mid versus a Galio. This is Korean Challenger as well, by the way. Probably not the ideal matchup, I guess. Like, Galio is a bit tankier, kind of a bit more annoying to play against. You really want something like immobile and kind of squishy that Kled can really jump on and abuse early game. But you see, it's not really going to matter too much whether it's Faker or not. Who knows? I won't show the entire game, by the way. If you would like to watch the entire replay yourself and see exactly what he does, then you can do. I will show you or link you, sorry, to the replay down below. But this is actually kind of interesting right now. He goes in, he gets the tether on straight away, just a little rope tug, nothing too major, but the reason he does it is because Galio used the Q on the wave to push. So obviously Galio can't really fight back. He's used his passive already, he's already used his Q as well, nothing straight back, and he's gonna start already trying to de-push. But this is one thing that does kind of suck with Kled. He's not a passive pick really. He's obviously trying to get a little bit of harass every single time he can with the rope through the minions, which is another really good thing about this pick. But he is getting pushed in a little bit, and if you don't fight and you just kind of sit back, this is really what is going to happen. I mean, obviously Galio goes missing right now already. In your games, that's probably not going to happen, let's be honest. Korean challengers are very active on the map. You can see there's lots of pings though, so he knows that he's there and he's actually missing. Playing a little bit more passive now and to the bottom side of the mid lane because he knows that two people probably are above him. He gets level 3, and this is when you're actually a bit more aggressive, which you can see he's pushing forward a little bit more, trying to de-aggro the minions. But like once you have all 3 abilities, this is where you really start to fight a bit more if you can do. Galio is playing so passive though. Like I don't know exactly why this is, and a TP at level 3. When people ask me why like Koreans are so aggressive and stuff, I always say they are so active on the map. They are so like interested in fighting in other lanes rather than their own. So we've skipped forward a little bit because Galio just based Faker was holding the wave here, but that is one thing. He actually didn't push very hard. Like he can push a little bit with his rope. It goes through everything, so it does a little bit of damage. It's not amazing, but it's okay. But he's actually not pushing this at all. He's keeping it close to his tower because he wants to fight, because he wants to do exactly this, charge in, wants to go ham. He actually misses that, unfortunately. recently, and the Camille's here to counter gank, but see if he can survive this time or not. He's actually constantly trying to go back in though, auto attack and use his abilities so that he gets Skull again. So this is a little bit more unfortunate. Like he's going to dive in with his ultimate here and try and get on somebody. This is what I was talking about with the Galio is probably not the ideal matchup. Like if he was on anybody else, like imagine on a Lux or something, like they're not really going to be able to do anything, right, when you charge down at them. He actually does this a lot with loads of different champions. He'll use his ultimate really aggressively, try and get something going. Like even if he doesn't, he used it kind of for harass, I guess. Obviously that's not optimal right there, but like trying that anyway is pretty good. And on other champions, a lot that is going to work. So you can use it aggressively in your lane, but also you want to bear in mind that you want to use it for the other lanes as well. He's kind of baiting this here because Talia is again sitting right next to him. When you all love to have a pocket jungler just sitting there and chilling. I wonder if that is like benefits of Faker right there or not. Lands the rope though, gets in the way of the charge, and that's a double kill for Talia. So this is one of the things that I talked about before already, that well, in the previous bit, not in the replay, but the actual talking about the guide part. In 2v2, you are so good. If your jungler plays around you with Kled, it's like insane. There aren't really many mages that can keep up with his damage. He's got like this health, and you can get more health as well with Skull and stuff like remounting, demounting. So when you have this much damage and you have like, you're really hard to kill, you're slippery, you have a bit of crowd control, a bit more health than normal as well, it makes 2v2s really, really difficult. You're pretty much going to win them all the time, so you can get more crabs, you can invade, take more fights, and you end up snowballing like a lot harder than a normal mid lane champion. I want to show you this part as well. I might look a little bit boring, but basically he's just like farming now. He's got his team already. SC12's got level 2 boots as well. He's actually picked up Tabby, which versus Galio seems kind of strange, but I guess he's going mainly for like the Twitch and the Camille and stuff. But basically what he's doing right now, because his wave clear is actually good with a Temu, is he's pushing the wave and then vanishing off of the map. So he's constantly looking to roam. He's got his ultimate right now. He can get to top lane, he can get to bot lane really fast. But you'll see here, he's actually like kind of proxying the wave. Like he grabs the wave right after the turret. He uses his Temu, he uses his abilities as well to get this down as fast as possible. It holds Galio here in the lane because Galio can't roam because he's obviously got to farm the minions under his tower. But then every single time he ducks back out vision. Like you've got to remember, think of it like from the Galio's perspective. You can't see Kled right now. So he's just roaming around constantly. This play is basically because he's just pushed the lane. He's going to get there first before Galio because he pushed first. He then roams down to me. He hasn't got anything right now. Obviously not the best roam ever, but this whole thing comes because he's pushing his lane and then roaming. And that honestly is like the kind of easiest way to win solo queue as a mid laner. And you're going to see him do it a lot, especially as Kled. A lot of mages actually had their wave clear nerfed because they were doing this too much and it was kind of like anti-fun pushing. But Kled kind of takes that to another level. Again, he has his team. Obviously before that it's kind of rough, but after that, he actually does it a lot easier than most mages, which makes everything much easier, much better. This is part of the reason why it actually works, because you can push and roam so easily. Now, Faker has a few items and levels on him. It's going to be much easier for him to fight. So you're going to see him be a lot more aggressive at this point. He's got a decent farm. He's actually out farming Galio massively because it's so easy for him. But you see, he dives in, he attaches the rope, pulls him back, procs his pressy attack, and then just dives in. Look at that health. Like that Galio is kind of actually pretty tanky, right? Like it's not a really weak champion. He is pretty 1v2ing at this point in the game. Not doing anything particularly special. He's just really annoying. And like if Galio was a lower health mage, he probably would have killed them in that combo, right? That's the power of it. And when you're playing against something like a Talon, for example, Talon can't really kill you because he's an assassin. You have all this bonus health and stuff. You're also able to kill him because he's very low health and you can dive onto him. So it actually works as a counter to a lot of different assassins, but it works really well against mages that can't get away from you. Galio is lucky that he's actually semi-tanky and he was able to survive that. But that shows you how much kill pressure Kled actually has if you go aggressive. If you look on the minimap, Twitch and Camille are definitely behind enemy lines right now, but this is kind of where Kled actually thrives. Once you get on people here, like, and you get to actually auto attack them, you do a lot of damage. So that was a little dirty ignite, honestly. Like he kind of messed up his combo a little bit and then was just like, all right, I'm gonna pick this up because of my ignite. I'm just going to ignite and run away, basically. And that kind of worked, I guess. Twitch is actually still alive, by the way, and he is wrecking everybody in the back line. They kind of thought that he was dead already. Galio comes in with his ult as well, but then you have the slip and slide for the Kled coming in onto the Twitch. I know it's not called that, but I want to call it that, honestly. And then we have the rope miss, unfortunately, but still, like, Kled is so mobile, you can chase people down. It's not really going to matter. Once you get your pressy attack on somebody as well, they are going to melt. So you can see the power in this fight. Like, he's gone from 2 and 3 to 5 and 3. So he's actually picked up 3 kills. And this is really what, like, Kled thrives in, really. Once you're in team fights and you can have, like, it's kind of a bit more spread out and you have access to people and you can actually have a little bit of time to auto attack, you do so much damage. We've skipped this forward just a little bit, just after he based actually. The fight is still going on. If you look at the mini-map, like Korea doesn't really stop fighting, so they're still going for it. Camilla's in a GA, you're going to get that down as well, and then we'll go on to Baron. But I'm going to skip it forward a little bit because this is where Kled is also really good. Like when it's more of a skirmish fight, not really a full 5-on-5, if you can ever catch people with your ultimate or just like kind of dive in when it's not a full 5-on-5, he does a lot better as well. You're going to see that in a second where he charges in. We see the Twitch, so this is always what you should do on Baron, by the way. You turn, don't risk it, because if you stay there, Kennen ult, the Twitch ult, the Galio ult, all into the pit at the same time, that's going to be really bad. I know I kind of said the Kled is a bit useless when he's charging after people without Skull, but in this case, he still gets the tether on, which is fine. He's got the rest of his team backing him up after that, but that kind of turn and like chase is really what Kled is so good at in this mid game phase. Like we're out of this now. This is just like normal Kled really. Obviously we had him in the mid lane. The composition is a bit different because we don't have a traditional mid laner. We have an all top lane and a Kled in the same game, but these kind of like drawn out individual fights where you're just charging people down, Kled is so good at that. This is the other reason that I kind of wanted to show you this game in particular, because he actually bought a Storm Razor. He's upgraded his back lever. He's got a Storm Razor. I think he was going to go for the GA, but because they're ahead now, he's going to go for pure damage basically. With Baron, the rest are doing Dragon. By the way, at the moment, he is going for the side lane push instead to try and get that tower, because Kled does melt towers, but again, there's his mobility, so you can't really lock him down. And this is kind of gross, honestly, like being able to survive this much. Okay, he has 3 people on him right now. Twitch is off there as well. Galio's coming in. He's still at the top of the screen, by the way. He's still alive, still fine. Finally, he demounts now. Finally takes a bit more damage, pops his stopwatch because of course everybody has one, and he's actually still alive. The Triumph is hitting him back up again. He's going to be restacking his Skull. They won that team fight. They actually aced them. And part of that is because Kled can last so long. He's built 3 damage items, honestly. He's built like 2 of them have health, obviously, but 3 damage items, 1 pure damage, 2 kind of like half damage, half health. But being able to survive that long in a team fight, being able to do that much damage still is honestly just ridiculous. And this is why Kled is so good as a champion anyway. Obviously, like, yes, his team did really well this game as well, but I think a lot of the pressure he had mid lane and a lot of the, like, he actually contained Galio really well. You just have to remember that you want to be fighting all the time when you're playing this in the lane phase, be using your cooldown trading as much as possible, and then just as soon as you get your team, you use it to push the wave, and then you roam as much as possible. Thank you for watching the video, guys. I really appreciate it. Let me know what you think of this. A bit of a different style, I guess, but I wanted to highlight the pick, and I thought who better than to use Faker as the example. Thank you for watching the video, but for now, I will leave you with the robots.